Each one of the stars on that flag are 6 feet from point to point. And the stripes on that flag, they are so wide that if I could drive this bus up and down any one of those stripes. Now, if you've ever been to a basketball game, the blue section alone is the size of an NBA basketball court. It is so cavernous inside that if we could disassemble the Empire State Building, we could get 3.5 Empire State Buildings inside there. Now this tower is 390 feet tall from the ground all the way up. And we're going to put the equivalent of a moon rocket and some solid rocket boosters on this thing. Now once we finish building our new space launch system, it'll be the most powerful rocket man has ever made. And one of the things I think is neat about this mobile launch platform is that this is what's going to launch man out of Earth's orbit.
Can't build now.
Now we're
It's
going to look
launch
at
control.
a great section of another set of towers over there. That is launch pad 40, where SpaceX was launching their Falcon 9 rockets from. We are now approaching launch pad 39A. Remember that I mentioned that we were lightning capital of the United States? Well, if you look at the very top of the launch pad there, you'll see there's a white section up on the very top of there. That is called a lightning mask. And that lightning mask is how they protect this launch pad from lightning. Portion of it, they've been working hard to take that portion of the launch.
And now, it is with great pride that we present the story of NASA's Apollo program, the greatest adventure mankind has ever undertaken.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
We hadn't been more than 16 minutes into space, and now we were going to the moon.
They still plan to go ahead with it. To send 3 men to the moon and back. I'll repeat that.
Okay, so that's pretty used to men on the moon.
Between Apollo 8 and...
This is the firing room. Launch control for the Apollo missions. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon. The tragedy of Apollo 1 was years ago.
fairly big. I don't like the idea that I'm walking right underneath a Saturn V rocket. I think I'll walk to the side of it. Right, so behind me we have the Saturn V rocket, starting with the tip of the rocket and down to the service module where the astronauts would have been. Let's walk the length of it. So start off with the service module, and it's got big rocket engine on the back. I'm a good 5 meters away from that and it already looks big. And then we've got the fuel tanks, and we're on the 3rd stage above me now. And there's a big rocket engine on the back of that. Now walking on to the 2nd stage, which is even bigger. And on the back of the 2nd stage we have another 5 engines. I'm going to walk underneath that to try and show the scale of these things. So walking back the way I just came, between the 1st and 2nd stages, we've got the 1st stage I'm coming up on, which is the biggest and the heaviest. I mean, this thing would have been stacked straight up in the air, so considering it's taken me this long to walk the length of it, that's how long it would take to walk straight up. There's the USA letters on the side. And now we're approaching the base of the rocket, which has 5 massive engines, which would have lifted the whole stack into orbit. Look at that. That is one big rocket. These things don't look supported at all. They must weigh tons. So there it is, the Saturn V rocket, and I'm standing right underneath one. So I'm walking underneath the Saturn V rocket. There's the rocket engines to the 2nd stage again. Now approaching the 3rd stage. And there's that single engine right above my head. Have to walk round now. And another rocket engine which is on the service module. And I believe that's where the crew would have been. And also up on in the distance over here we've got a mock-up of the Eagle which landed on the moon. And that is a Saturn V rocket. Right, so I'm just sitting at the Moon Rock Cafe having an overpriced soda opposite the Saturn V moon rocket, as you do. Once I've had this, I'm going to get on the shuttle bus and head back to the visitor complex. Right, so I've just run out of power on my main camera, but I'm down to mobile phone. So I'm sitting on the seating area stands, and over there across the water you have the launch pad. So during most launch events people will be sitting here looking across the water at the rockets taking off. So yeah, it's really good to get a feel for the area and see what NASA's all about. When they do a proper launch, especially when SpaceX get their BFR in order, their big rocket, in the next 4 or 5 years, I'll definitely have to come back and see that. And it'll probably be launched from over there. So this would be an ideal place to sit. Awesome. Looks like that's the actual Apollo 13 capsule. You can see the scorch marks on the bottom of it, on the heat shield. How complicated does a door need to be? Wow. And this here, behind the piece of glass, is an actual piece of moon rock from Apollo 17. There's another piece of moon rock from the Apollo 15 mission. Looks like where they faked the moon landing. Right, so coming into another building. I think this is where the space shuttle is. Space Shuttle Atlantis. And you've got the mock-up of the shuttle behind me. Or at least the tanks. So this rocket behind me, Atlantis, has been to space well over 20 times, and done 126 million miles orbiting the Earth. Wow. It's hard to believe that this thing was designed and built before I was even born. Wow. See, the other side of where that's pointing is a cinema screen. So you're watching the presentation and then it goes transparent and reveals the thing behind it. That is seriously impressive. See all the tiles and all that for real. Those bits there, hang on. Those bits there, 1 square, 2 square, right above my head. That's where the wheels would have came out for landing. So this is the bus behind me that they used to ferry the astronauts to the launch pad. Take a closer look. So of the space shuttles, there are 6 in existence. There's Enterprise, Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis and Endeavour. And of course there's one behind me. 2 blew up, and that means there's only 4 in existence. And there's one of them. That's Challenger. And these are the belongings to Columbia crew. Both lost in tragic accidents. That is a piece of... this behind me is a piece of Challenger. And over here is a piece of Columbia. Okay, so they're closing now, and that was good, but I've just got to the exit and it looks like the bloody hurricane's back with all that rain. It's absolutely flooding out there. So I need to find a way back to the car without drowning, and then I'm going to head back to my Airbnb. But yeah, I'm glad I came today. Right, so I'm back in the car and I'm soaked. I wanted to go for a swim when I got back to the Airbnb, and I kind of did in the car park before, well, just look, it's absolutely chucking it down out there, but at least it's warm, and that's great. But I'm soaked, everything's soaked. I really enjoyed it there today, and I really want to come back, and when I do come back, I want to bring people with me, because the experience was out of this world, totally. Right, so I need to, I've literally used all my batteries up. I'm on my emergency battery, which charged up a 4th battery for this camera, because I only had 3 batteries, and it's now currently charging up my phone, which is also flat, so that I can get back to my Airbnb. Okay, so I've just arrived at a US postal branch.